I mean, it's less of a podcast and more real life conversations with Sydney Castillo. Look, time is of the essence. I found out the hard way. Started a podcast cause I got a whole lot to say. Dealing with this anxiety got me moving different. Whole life I knew something was off. I knew I wasn't tripping. My pop's gone. Every day I swear I miss him. My brother gone too, and every day I miss him. Nowadays I got more questions than answers.
Taylor, we back. Hey, what's up, man? Welcome back to another episode of My Cup is Full. Listen, thank y'all. Thank you for your patience. I've been getting threats in my DMs. Okay, what's up with the podcast, nigga? Like, thank y'all for your patience, man. I shot special, man. It was super dope, dog. I wanted to like prepare for that and like get ready, be in my head. But listen, man, the special I shot was last Saturday. It was incredible, dog. It was incredible, man. Like in Chicago, the shows was amazing. At the end of the show, I was like, hey, if y'all could just pray. I said that the audience is cool. Pray like I take my time and pray that it just goes so well. And dog, man, I could like, when I tell you I ain't trying to be dramatic, I could feel y'all praying, dog. Like Jasmine from Cleveland, Ohio, right? I appreciate you. My phone ringing like a text message at 6 o'clock in the morning, right? And it was a voice note. And she was like, you know what? I was gonna wish you good luck, but you don't need luck. You know what I mean? It's already in God's hands. And she's like, pray for me, right? I ain't trying to hold y'all. I had like 3 prayers on my phone by like 7 o'clock in the morning. I was like, okay, right? And then on the way to the venue, my mom sent me this video that I'm not gonna show y'all because I'm not trying to make y'all cry, right? But I told the person that sent it to me, hey, send me this at 11 in the morning. Like I'm on the way. Like my mom like gave me a shout out, like wishing me well on the show. It just went so good, man. It went so good. Like, you know what I mean? Like all the stuff in the podcast, like episode 1, 2, 3, stealing, cousin stealing, all that jazz. Like it all led up to like a great like taping. Like, you know what I mean? I feel like I was able to like really express how I feel comedically. Right on here, I feel like we get deep and talk and get point of view and like how I feel, but like comedically, I was able to express like, you know what I mean, some really raw emotions, and like I feel like I put out a good piece of work, man, and I was really happy with it. So it was amazing. Yo, real quick, Dallas this Saturday, September 28th. We had 2 shows, 7 and 9:30. Now listen, I wasn't able to make podcasts and help promote, so ticket sales are late. Help me out, okay? I was filming a special. But I need y'all to grab the tickets, please. Grab the tickets. I'm not in Dallas for a very long time. I'm there this Saturday, 2 shows at the Dallas Comedy Club. The ticket link is in the bio. Grab your tickets. Bring all your friends, man. We've been doing great. We've been doing great in Atlanta. We did great in Chicago. We sold out in LA. Like Dallas, get your tickets. Fort Worth, listen, I'm talking to you. I know Dallas is far. Right? Now this is for back home energy. I know it's like an hour and 10 minutes. Like, where you gonna be? Come, okay? Come. Okay, get the tickets. I appreciate y'all. And breaking news, Somerville, Massachusetts. I love Somerville, Massachusetts. I was actually talking to my homegirl the other day. Like, you know where I want to go? Somerville, Massachusetts. And look at God, I'm gonna be there December 21st. 1 show, 200 seats. If it sells out early, Somerville, Massachusetts. They told me they'll add a 9:30 show. Well, let's show up. Because I know it's a bunch of people in Somerville that want to see me. Because I can't wait to see y'all. Because it's on my vision board. It was like, man, I can't wait to buy a new house. You feel me? And go to Somerville, Massachusetts. And then the third one was like, you know what I mean? None of your business. Now, I appreciate y'all. And yeah, man, it just went so good, dog. My cousins came. My boy Chris came. My boy Chris introduced me to the stage. Like, it went good. And I'm learning. I appreciate y'all. Like the audience, y'all really be listening. Y'all really be bringing me Skittles, dog. Like listen, Chicago, listen, the taping, this young lady brought me a bouquet of Skittles. I don't even know how she did it. That was amazing, right? My cousins would like y'all to start bringing me healthier things, so I really like green grapes. I really like pound cake. And then my cousins protected, the ones who don't steal. They were like, well, you can't be eating everybody's food. Every time I say the ones who don't steal, people look at me like, last Sydney. And that's therapeutic for me. I think it's dope. Anyway, listen, the special was important, man. This special was very important to me, man. I'll say this, like, over that episode, I feel like when we did the last episode, it was a like Dead Daddy game, right? And I get it was a heavy episode, right? But like a lot of people been like hitting me up, you know, they lost some people. Today, my homeboy lost his homeboy or whatever. We were talking over DM. The honest truth, like moments like Saturday, right? I didn't cry. Like, I miss my dad, miss my brother. I was so like refreshed in a state of like, I'ma kill this shit for y'all. You know what I mean? Like, I'ma kill this shit for y'all. Like, and my energy was like more focused, right? Because it's like, man, like I prayed on nerves. So God got my nerves already. Like, Lord, let me be focused, let me be centered, take my time. But like, I'ma kill this shit for y'all. And the next day, hand to God, the next day after the taping, I walked around downtown, right? And I was just thankful, right? And I was just like walking, I looked at the sky, my brother, like, man, I killed that shit for you, dog. So it's like, yeah, you sad when you lose family, right? Yeah, Chris is sad about his dad sometimes, but we have victories in our lives that are like shout out to the people that are like watching over us. And I feel like Saturday was a big shout out to my brother, a big shout out to my dad, dog, and a big shout out to like my homeboy, dog. I got a homeboy named Nick, right? I'm gonna tell you about Nick real quick. Nick is from New York, right? I met Nick at the Comedy Store in the Belly Room. He was with his ex-wife, right? And I first met Nick. Nick was like an in shape. How tall was Nick? Like 6 foot?
6'1".
About 6'1". Nick about 6'1", in shape, goofy. Nick goofy. I never met a New York goofy dude until I met Nick. And not in a disrespectful goofy, but like playful. Like, you know what I mean? Most New York dudes be like, yo, what up, son? How you doing? I mean, I ate razor blades for breakfast just because I wanted to try something new. You know what I mean? It's like, Nick was the total opposite of that, dog. Nick was like, yo, what's up? Like, you know what I mean? Like, I like cartoons. You know what I mean? And he was always like in shape. Nick used to train me, right? And I remember telling Nick, hey, man, you can't wear the New York hat out here in LA. And he was like, I'm from New York. I was like, yeah, I understand, but out here is gangs. Like, that's a gang out here. And they beef with another gang. That's why I quit wearing my Texas Ranger hat out here. He's like, oh man, I'm from New York, son. It's like, all right, cool. All right, man. Maybe like a month and a half later, Nick hits me. He's like, yo, you wasn't lying. I said, what you mean? He said he was jogging one day and he had his New York hat on, Yankee hat, and some dudes approached him like on some blah, 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 blah. And he was like, no, I'm from New York. I'm a comedian. Boom. It was cool. Then he was at this comedy club. He performed. This one of the same dudes was there. Was like, ah man, you are a comedian, man. You really funny. He's like, oh thank you. He's like, we about to noodle pop you. He's like, what that mean? He's like, blow your cap off your head, right? And he called me. He's like, dog, you was right. I was like, I was trying to save your life, you hard-headed ass. You know what I mean? But the special Nick used to always be like, yo, Sydney, you help everybody else. You know what I mean? You always be punching people's stuff up, and you always be doing this. He's like, when you gonna shoot your own special, dog? Shoot your own special. I was like, I am. And he's like, you won't, but do it, dog. Like, just do it. What you, like, it's just 2021. Just do it, dog. I'm like, I'm gonna do it, nigga. I promise. I'm gonna shoot it, dog. I promise I'm gonna shoot it. I'm gonna get it right. You know, I'm just dealing with some shit right now. I was going through a divorce. I was going through a divorce. And I was like, I'm dealing with the divorce right now, dog. My mom had cancer. I was like, I'm just, I'm gonna shoot it, Nick. And so Nick ended up passing, right? And it was like, Nick ended up passing. And when he passed, I was upset, you know what I mean? Him and his ex-wife, I was so loyal to Nick, I wasn't really even talking to his ex-wife. I was like, nah, Nick passed, I'm team Nick, you know what I mean? And then my homeboy was like, talk to Nick's wife. I was like, for what? I was like, you know what I mean? That my homeboy passed, that was my homeboy, you know what I mean? And he was like, man, because that's your homeboy wife, like, she cool, dog, like, you know what I mean? She cool, trust me, he known them for like way before me, like he known them since they were puppies, you know what I mean? This nigga known them forever. I don't mean puppies to call people dogs, but since they were he known them for a very long time. And so he hit me, he was like, man, chill, I understand your loyalty. He's like, I love Nick. Nick is my brother. He's like, I still talk to her, man. She's a good person. You know what I mean? Nick could have da-da-da, whatever. He's like, just, you know what I mean? And I was like, for real? He was like, yeah. So we start, being cool. But I think it's important that y'all know that the basis of our friendship was her ex-husband was my boy, you know what I mean? Like one of my boys. And when he passed, I remember calling her. It was the first time I had talked to her. And I called her and I was like, yo. And I almost felt selfish because she was like, he's dead. He passed, Sydney. He passed. And I was like, sorry. And then like it clocked down. I was like, damn, I'm being selfish. I was like, I remember like sounding like a zombie. I'm sorry. I know you lost your husband. I know the father of your child is passed. I apologize. My emotions are the secondary. Like, you know what I mean? Like, and we ended up hanging up. I was like, damn. You know what I mean? So, with that said, my guest for today, I would like to introduce my homeboy's ex-wife, and you may know her, you may love her on the podcast. She's amazing on here. She's amazing in real life. She's wearing crimson tie like she is from Alabama. She got her hair done. She just came back from the Netherlands. She got TV shows out, right? She's on tour. She might be in Dallas. She might be in the Netherlands. You don't never know who this motherfucker gonna be with. This young lady might be in a hotel in Tampa like, hey, y'all had a good show. And then wake up in Guam like, hey, y'all, I got 2 tomorrow at the hut. Y'all, please get up for my guest, Tacarra Williams. Hey, listen, I'm so happy to have this guest back, man. Now that you know our origin of how we met, man, please welcome back the incredible, the talented, the passport having ass, Tacarra Williams, please. What up, Tacarra? We've been gone for like 3 weeks. Boom, we back.
We back. Did you say the passport having ass?
Passport. Tacarra will have a show. She was in Virginia.
I'm going to Bermuda this week.
Bermuda? Then I was like,
shows.
hey, see, what you doing? Now, where you at? About to go to the Netherlands real quick, go get this money, and then I'm coming back. Like, oh, okay, we still shooting the podcast Tuesday. You going to be okay? You going to have, like, you know what I mean? What's it called?
I'll be okay. Jet lag?
Jet lag?
I'm good.
Welcome back.
Y'all see that skin?
Okay, talk about it.
You see the skin? So I'm glad we got to do this. We're doing this episode because I think it's really important that people understand the origin of how we met. Because I know a lot of times I get DMs too. I get DMs. It's like, Sydney, so fine. What you doing? What y'all waiting for? Y'all might as well date. I can't even be in the same city as Sydney without y'all assuming that we hunching in a corner somewhere. Yeah. We just be drinking.
Yeah, I'll be losing.
And I love you, Sydney. But when Sydney drink, he's like a toddler. Like he don't listen. You know, you gotta hold his hand and walk him across the street, and he want to sing to every song even though he don't know the words, and he do it outside loud, and it's just we just friends. We just having a good time, and he was best friends with my ex-husband who unfortunately passed away, and I just wanted to make sure everybody understood the why. You know, we cool. We like family. Yeah, we wasn't always like this.
Yeah.
You know, so I had a moment last week, and just a moment, and I reached out to Sydney, and I said, can I want to ask you a question, or I want to share something. And I just shared with him how I felt about just stand-up comedy and the state that it is in for me right now. And he had one of those moments where he was like, do we save it for the podcast, or do we talk about it now?
Yeah, I was like, do I be a real friend right now, or should I wait till we get downtown? This sounds like it's going to be good, Tacarra.
It is. I mean, a lot of people don't understand this about me. I love stand-up comedy. I do. I enjoy stand-up comedy. But stand-up comedy gives me anxiety, because I used to be married to a comic, which was Anthony. You guys call him Nick. And he passed away. And I didn't realize that I didn't grieve his passing until I got divorced for the second time. So from the time he passed, it was about 1.5 years. I got married and got divorced. And it wasn't until I got divorced that I was able to grieve. I didn't even know I didn't grieve, and I'm saying that because stand-up comedy I love it, but it's also very traumatic, and it gives me anxiety when I'm on stage because something I used to love so much is now like traumatic, if that makes sense. And me and him, we had our ups and downs and we had our moments, but I never hated him. I just hated some of the decisions that he made, unfortunately. And we always had this pact when we first got married, because we got married in New York. And then we agreed together, we were going to, Isaiah Kelly was like, I live in California, I need to move to California. And I was like, I want to go to California. And Nick was like, I don't know. And then I was like, we could do great in comedy in California. He was like, yeah, let's do it. So when we moved to California, we moved with this dream of just being this duo who was going to husband and wife, who's going to kill the comedy game. And when things didn't work out the way we thought it was going to work out, we still had a space before the chaos happened where we still said, hey, I'm still going to root for you. And I'm still going to root for you. And let's just, we have a child now together. And let's just be great at, whatever. Let's continue to root for each other. And even though things didn't necessarily turn out the way we thought it would, when he passed, it was like the world just stopped, And it's wild because he was healthy. and he worked out all the time, and then he just passed one day. And I just felt like I was like on hold from that moment. And this is something I never spoke about publicly. I just never had an opportunity to, because I couldn't even grieve. I didn't get an opportunity to grieve. Because social media wasn't nice to me, and people weren't nice to me because everybody had this idea of what they thought the
this
situation
when I wasn't
was.
talking to Tacarra.
Yeah, Sydney wasn't nice to me.
Like I was like, my boy.
He called me and was like, "Yo, Nick died," and I'm like, well, "Yeah." He's no. He was like, and I had so many people call me to ask me if he died, and I'm like, call his wife because he got remarried. And I'm like, I got to call his wife. I'm not in the space to answer any of these questions. Yeah. I have a child I have to relay this information to. That's my concern, is I got to tell my daughter, and I got to figure out what language can I tell her in that she will understand. And everybody was calling me. You called me. And I was mad. I'm like, I don't fucking talk to you. What you calling me for? You called so many. And just for the record, y'all could kiss my ass. Because y'all didn't talk to me for years. And now you want to call me with this information. And a lot of people didn't even ask me if I was okay. Yeah. They were just like, well, what happened to him? And blah, 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 this. And I was like, y'all got to call he has a whole nother wife. You got to call her and have this conversation with her. And, things kind of went so haywire on social media that I didn't get an opportunity to grieve. And me grieving, people made me feel bad, like, y'all didn't even like each other. And it was like, well, I didn't hate the man. I just hated some decisions that were made. And and at the end of the day, you still love somebody. You still loved somebody, and we have a kid together for the rest of our life, So when he passed, it was really heavy, and y'all was mean to me, raggedy bitches. and I didn't get to grieve. Long story short, some things got crossed, and some people had some conversations, and ultimately you reached out, and we wound up talking, and Sydney was...
Isaiah sat me down Isaiah,
like the toddler that he is.
Isaiah was like, Sydney. I was like, what's up? He was like, you should call Tacarra. And I was like, nah. I was like, I was Nick's friend, right? And Nick was my boy. And I don't ever want to come off like he passed now, and now I'm being phony. And he was like, dog, it's not like that. That's the mother of his kid. Like, you got to always make sure she good and the kid good. Like, he's like, she a good person. I was like, yeah. He was like, information. And I was like, word, information. And I was like, okay.
I like that information.
Yeah, and then he was like, yeah, man. And so I was like, I didn't go to Nick. I couldn't go to Nick thing. Like,
I didn't go.
I couldn't. Like, I got his obituary in my drawer right now. And like, when I go get socks, I be seeing Nick. You know what I mean?
Get socks?
Yeah, right there by the socks, right? Like, you know what I mean? I rub his head just like they do in Apollo before I leave. But like, yeah, so it's like, Isaiah was just like, not like, grow up a little bit. He's like, dude, trust me. He's like, I knew them before you. That's what he said. I knew them.
See, and we all knew each other in New York.
Yeah, he said, I knew them in New York. You know them coming to LA together. I know them for so long. He's like, trust me, information, it's all good. And then I remember being like, yo, what's up? How you doing? Then eventually like, hey man, I'm sorry. It was just, my loyalty to Nick, I down that hill. It's like,
and I appreciate that too. I appreciate you. I appreciate, cause it takes a lot to be like, you know what, my bad.
Yeah.
Especially at this adult age when you've been running with a narrative for years, and then you're like, it's not what I thought it was. And I also, shout out to Shantae Waynes, cause Shantae Waynes, I love Shantae. She was very mean. She said something very mean to me on social media, and something got, I don't know if Isaiah talked to her as well, but somebody else talked to her, and she reached out to me. I was at the Laugh Factory performing. She comes up to me at the Laugh Factory, and she goes, Tacarra. And I looked at her like, am I gonna have to smack your ass? And she said, I just want to apologize, but she had tears in her eyes. And I said, no, okay. We can go upstairs and we could talk upstairs. And she said, no, I need to apologize to you publicly because I disrespected you publicly. And there was a bunch of comedians standing around. And she said, I just wanted to be sorry for the things that I said. And, I wasn't aware of all that was going on. And, I feel really bad. He was my homeboy, and I was just kind of grieving, and I just want to apologize. And I love Shantae. I love her wife, Shay. I love them. They're super dope, super cool. And, and I'm having this conversation because people don't understand, I got into a little altercation with somebody on social media. We're not going to discuss that. But don't come for me when it comes to comedy. Don't attack me when it comes to comedy, because comedy is very sensitive to me. Because me and this man made these promises to each other in regards to comedy. So every time I go on stage, I always feel like I'm up there for two people. Like I don't have a space to not do well on stage. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like I feel like I'm always overcompensating to be great at comedy because I'm carrying almost a legacy kind of, because even though he remarried to somebody else, which is fine, I still share a child with this man, for the rest of my life and for the rest of her life. And I always want to be, if somebody Google him, I'm always going to pop up. And it's like, oh, that's his ex-wife. Yeah. She funny as hell. She's dope as hell. That's cool. So, so there's that. And it's just a topic I kind of wanted to discuss. And me, I talked to Sydney. I reached out to you the other day. What did I say to you in the DMs?
You was like, I just feel like you said you and Anthony had a promise. And it's like, but you were telling me how you feel, doing all these things. And I was telling you, like, look, dog, you made a promise to him. Y'all made a promise to each other, but you're carrying out the promise. Like, you're on a TV show. You're traveling the world. Like, you're on multiple tours. Yeah. Like, you just bought a home. Like, when he was alive and y'all was grinding, you didn't have that. He passed, you had that. You're just doing everything you said you was going to do. So, like, he proud of you. Like, Nick, if Nick goofy ass, if Nick was here, Nick would be like, you doing it. You on the road. You really on the road. Like, you see it? Like,
and it's crazy. And the reason I reached out to Sid was because I just wanted to have a moment to be vulnerable, to just be like, sometimes my cup is full. And sometimes all of our cups are full, and we put on this pretend font and face and we smile, especially as comedians. It's so hard to be vulnerable as a comedian and be serious, because when we get nervous, automatically we jump into funny. Like, it'll be something sad and we want to cry, but we won't cry. We'll make a joke out of it. And sometimes it's not always a joke. And I think I reached out to you and I was like, I felt like my cup was full. Yeah. And I had this moment where he passed, and for a year and a half, like, people be on autopilot. Like, when I tell you I was on autopilot and I married somebody I had no business marrying, but I was so stuck on.
Don't say that, because when you say that, they'll come in the comments at 3 a.m. and be like, really, Sydney? This is a stupid reason to get divorced. Delete. Go ahead, Tacarra.
Because Sydney be deleting comments. Let me tell you that right now.
You make
Sydney
me mad.
Is an what is it? Alt Control Delete. That he delete the whole page.
If my phone was and it's negativity, my boundaries at such and such. I screenshot it. I'll send it to Tacarra.
He sent it to her and said, just so you know, I deleted it.
I deleted it, but look at Mama talking crazy to me right now. Go ahead. Sorry.
But there was a moment in my life where my cup was full, and I didn't know it or recognize it until something happened in the second marriage. I filed for divorce. And then here I am on this journey of healing. And then I realized I'd never grieved. Mm-hmm. I never grieved. And I was just overwhelmed with that and the divorce. And, and I'm grateful for his parents who,
I love them, dog.
They reached out to me. I called the dad crying. The dad is my rock. And I called him crying. He said, what's wrong? And I said, I can't do it. And he said, and I've never asked for help in my life. And he said, you can't do what? And I said, I'm just overwhelmed. And, the baby, and I'm traveling. I'm trying to pursue this dream. And, all of this. And they said, we'll take her. And I said, well, wait a minute. I wouldn't call you to take her. I was
Cape flying in the wind. We've got her. Bring us the baby.
Standing on the Brooklyn Bridge.
Yes.
And I said, well, wait a minute. I just need somebody to talk to. And they said, no, but we'll take her. We're both divorced. I just got a new hip replacement. I play racquetball now. Like, if you need help, we'll take her so you can get yourself together mentally and emotionally. And that's really important that you do, because once you lose your mind, it's hard to get that back. And I think that's always my fear as comedians. I watch comedians. A lot of comedians have passed away in the past 5 years. We lost so many comedians in the past 5 years. Shout out to Teddy Ray. Shout out to Boogie B, David Arnold. Who else? What is the one from Friday? He passed away. AJ Johnson. And if I'm forgetting anybody, you can leave them in the comments. But like comedians, we live such serious lives, and we just leave it all on the stage. And sometimes it come back home with you, and you got to sit with it. And I was just having a moment with Sid, and I was like, I would really like to do this on the podcast and just kind of discuss, like, mental health and loss, and and just where I am in stand-up comedy, because stand-up comedy give me anxiety.
It's like different. It give you anxiety. It help with mine.
Yeah.
Like when you say like your like wits end is when I started like breathing heavy, damn near passed out. I didn't know why. You said you didn't get a chance to grieve.
Yeah.
That was my body literally telling me to like addressing something. And that's how I found out about anxiety.
Yeah.
Like you like talking to Nick Dad and like calling me, like that's dope, because you let that shit sit down. You know what I mean? We too old to be like in public.
Yeah.
You feel me? So like,
Yeah.
not too old, but like it happens. So
It
like,
happens, yeah.
You talking about that shit. Like I told you, you make Nick proud. Like you doing if you, not to say you're dismiss how you feel, but I'll just give you like a pat on the back, dog. If you wasn't doing all the shit you was doing, your anxiety would be just like, oh, you doing everything you said you was gonna do, dog. Your house when you be, you know what I mean? Overlook a view, dog.
Thank you.
You know what I mean? Like you're doing everything you said you was gonna do. So just at least if you have anxiety, at least try to acknowledge like some success in it. You know what I mean? Like I realize this makes me anxious, but also give praise to the fact that God is really blessing this dream.
And it's weird to love something so much and feel, you know, anxiety toward it. You know what I'm saying? To be so in love with stand-up and want to get on stage and do stand-up and be so excited about it. But then, you know, have that moment of, is this going to be good enough? You know, is this going to make everybody proud? Is everybody going to be happy? Is everybody going to be this? And it's just, you know, and I kind of like chilled on, it pushed me back from social media too. Like I remember back in the day, I used to be wild on social media. I think a lot of us comics used to be wild on social media. And then we all experienced some type of loss or some type of pain and it just sat us down. You know, that's why I be like so chill. People like, you don't go live no more. You know, I'm like, there's no reason for me to be live.
I used to have a high-pitched voice. And my brother died, just a guy right here.
Really?
I'm lying.
Oh, well, I was about to call you a liar. I was about to open this water and throw it at you. Wet t-shirt contest. But don't hide the water holder. Let it drip. But don't let it drip because you know your comments be crazy. Why you ain't let the water drip, dog? She asked for it. Why y'all be bothering Sydney in these comments?
Stop. Listen, I don't want to block y'all, but dudes, like I will block y'all. Stop coming to my DMs. Be like, hey, what's wrong with you? You don't see that woman across like
we
like
family.
Listen, one comment. Speaking of comments, the comments was like, I say dog a lot naturally. First of all, she's not an animal. Then one time I say man.
Who told y'all that?
Hey, first of all, you keep saying man. She's not a man.
She's not an animal.
And I'll go back. I'll start typing, you know what I mean? And then I'll delete it, you know what I mean? But that's something to do too. My therapist like, sometimes just write it out. Write out your anger, then throw it away. Like, all right, so I do the same thing with comments. I'll be like, first of all,
excuse my language.
Fuck you talking to crazy, and then I'll just delete it. And you know what I mean?
That got me in trouble this past week on the internet. I typed something out and I didn't erase. I said something and then I posted it and then it just raved everywhere. But let me say this: I'm not gonna talk too much on it. I got offended because they attacked my comedy. You could call me fat. You could call me ugly. You could call me broke. Call me what you want, but you can't call me not funny.
Well, yeah, when people are insecure about something.
When that person attacked my comedy, and this is the thing on social media for anybody, don't go back and forth with a stand-up comedian. You're not going to win when you go back and forth with a stand-up comedian. Even if you got all this extra stuff going on in your fans, and we comics, we not going to lose because we had a difference of opinion on social media, because now we're going to go on stage and we're going to talk about it. Don't become my content.
While you was studying, get your degree, I was making jokes. Okay.
No, I was getting my degree. I got 2 degrees. But
I tried. I was like, I'm gonna try this funny thing.
Yeah.
And, you know what I mean? So like, leave me alone. It's like a person who knows martial arts. That's the perfect way to think about it. Like if a person knows martial arts and you trying to start some shit, they'll literally tell you, hey, relax. Like chill. And then you
hey, ain't no problem over here. We don't got no problem over here.
Yeah, they might even let you push them.
Yeah. And then you push them, and then they be like, hey, chill.
Then they beat your ass swiftly and quickly.
And then
comedically the same shit. If I choose to clock in on you, I just don't want everybody to see.
The clock in.
Yeah.
And because the clock in, and this is the thing, when you clock as when you push somebody, if you you know karate or whatever, and they push you back, don't expect them to just push you back. They going for the
you out the ring. Yes. Absolutely.
What's the move with Shawn Michaels when he hit his leg and then kicked you?
Yeah, the hi-ya.
First of all, it wasn't the hi-ya.
I didn't watch wrestling like that. It wasn't. What was it? What was it called?
What is the suplex? I don't know what it was.
The who?
The sweet. There we go. He knew. But it wasn't a hi-ya.
Who did the hi-ya?
Did you? What movie was it? Bruce Lee. The Karate Kid. Like nobody else did the stop with the hand motions. Nobody's doing this in a suplex.
Nah, well, if comedically, that's what I'm trying to do to you.
Okay, there.
I'm coming for your throat.
When comedians come back at you, we coming from the juggler, and we come from such a place where we're gonna find the truth in whatever it is, and that's what we talk about on stage. Everything we talk about on stage is truth. We find the funny in the truth, but it's gonna be honest and it's gonna be truthful. So when you are going back and forth with a comedian, they gonna get in and it's not gonna be nice. And there's no rules to what is it called when we in New York, to clapping back.
Yeah.
If you say something mean to me, and if I say something mean to you and you go to clap back, ain't no holds bar. I'm not gonna be like, yeah, but you can't talk about the fact that have short hair, and you can't talk about the fact that I'm fat. You can't talk about those things when you clap back. No, ain't no rules in the clap back.
Like that would be like me saying that joke or somebody saying, "Shut your anxious ass up." Oh, my daddy did ass. Oh, everybody did on my podcast. And I was like, hey man.
That's off limits.
I laughed just even saying that. Like that's how you supposed to return. We in a verbal confrontation.
But that's the thing is, like, we are older. Like we come from a generation where, like, I'm from New York. In New York, somebody could be like, "That's why your mama's a hoe," and they'll be like, "Well, that's why your father left and never came back." And that, you be like, God damn. But that's how you.
Yeah, you just sparring.
And you
verbally.
go home and talk to your mom like, "Yo, where my father at?"
But now you got comments and people, and you know what I mean?
They said this about you, but you shouldn't have said. I'm gonna say it all. Like this is the.
Or you can leave me alone.
Or leave me alone.
What the old white man say? Get off my lawn.
Yeah, get off my line.
Get off my. Clint Eastwood say, "Get off my lawn." Get out my comments, bitch.
Did he say hi-ya too?
Get out,
yeah, get off my comments.
I tell them dudes, hey, dog, leave me alone.
Because comedians, we just built different. So that's why and the importance of this podcast was just to understand what comedy does to me. Comedy is very emotional for me. It is anxiety for me. It is in some way trauma for me, but it's still love. Yeah. I still love stand-up comedy. I love that I can relate to so many of you, in the audience. People are watching when we talk about the old gentlemen. You know, we talk about just being plus size. We talk about being parents and being moms. You know, even your stuff is so heavy hitting.
Oh yeah, we talk about suicide.
Yeah, but that's what we do.
Need the kidney. I said absolutely not.
Oh yeah.
We talk about a lot.
And
of
look at them living
a good life,
great life.
But we talk about it.
Yeah, but we talk about it. So we talk about the uncomfortable conversations that most people are afraid to talk about, and we talk about it in honesty. So don't come when it comes to comedy. I'm just very sensitive with comedy. Was the point of this podcast? I'm
gonna say this
is I'm very sensitive when it comes to stand up.
Listen. I can't tell you how to be. You grown and how you are is why you're successful. I think when you said that I feel pressure in doing stand-up and all that jazz, just from me to you, I think you should lift some of that pressure off and just continue doing the work because you're successful. You're doing great things. You're funny. You're talented. You know what I mean? You just got back in the country.
Yeah. I'm leaving again on Thursday.
Okay, but look, we laughing, but was that the case 15 years ago?
Right.
Was that the case 20 years ago when you was like, we finna move to California?
Well, I've only been doing it for 13, but
I'm saying whenever y'all move, so we finna move.
Yeah.
Like what you're doing now, you're in motion right now, so it's just so consistent.
Yeah.
But just step back and realize you're doing everything you said you was gonna do. So, really,
and I appreciate that, but I think for me, it's like. And it's even for you. People see success. Yeah. People see you're funny, you're doing great, your podcast is doing well, but they don't understand the L's we take.
Oh,
they don't understand the sacrifices that make us who we are. Like whatever you're going through in your life, no matter how hurtful it is, how stressful it is, overwhelming it is part of it. It's going to become part of who you are. It already is part of who you are, but the process of it is going to make you another version of who you already are. And people don't understand the loss that comes with that. Did you get what I'm saying? Like, I lost the father of my child. I've never suffered a loss like that before. And she looked just like him. Like her whole face. She chewed like him. When she get food right here, she go like this. Why do you use these teeth to pull this in? She can't dance.
She love pizza hot out the oven.
Yes, hot and burns her whole mouth. She don't care.
Yeah.
She gonna chew it and then she later be like, my tongue is burnt. You knew that when you ate 4 bites. She acts like him, looks like him, talks like him, mannerisms like him. She watches him on. She always watches his YouTube stuff. She, unfortunately, I think something happened with his page, but she watches him, and I have to watch her constantly looking like him, acting like him. And I still got to get on stage and do comedy, knowing what my origin of comedy is. My origin of comedy was I married somebody. They was a comedian. We moved here together. We were supposed to be doing something together. It didn't work out. And then bam, they were gone. So when people are like, oh, you're doing great and you're doing this and I'm so proud of you. It's like, damn, but you don't know the loss though. Mm-hmm. You know, like, and even with you, like you've gone through stuff. People don't understand that we've sacrificed so much to be in this moment, to bring you joy. And sometimes in the process of bringing you joy, we don't have the joy. That's such a difficult thing to do, is to bring people joy when you don't feel joy. You ever went on stage and just didn't want to go on stage?
Yeah.
And then you'd be like, we're gonna be good. The weekend that he performed, the weekend that he passed, I did Arlington Improv. No, it wasn't Arlington. Addison Improv. I was there for the weekend for 4 shows. And I found out that morning, Friday, that he passed. And I decided to stay and do the shows because there was nothing I could do. I'm not gonna rush home to give my daughter bad news. Let me just heal. Let me just deal with this in the moment. And I did the shows. And as much as I thought I wouldn't be able to, I did great on stage doing the shows because it was my way of getting it out. But nobody in the audience really knew what was going on inside my head. And it's just, and be kind to, comics. We be going through stuff and y'all just be like, you didn't make me laugh. Well, fuck you today. Okay? We be going through stuff. So, this is just a podcast. This is just an episode just about awareness. And some people always ask me, how did you start comedy? And, sometimes I'd say no to a lot of shows now too.
Good.
I'd be like, no.
And this is for y'all in the comments. Be like, yo, why don't you talk to Tacarra? Now after this episode, I shouldn't have another comment about why you don't ask Tacarra. Because if you do it now, you're weird. If you do it now, you're weird and you don't love God.
If they don't do what?
If they ask why we not dating now, they're weird and they don't love God.
I think they're gonna ask, can they get a shot now?
That's my.
We didn't want to step on your toes because we thought that. You know what I'm saying? Like that? We thought.
I don't know. We were like, we didn't want to step on your toes, Tacarra.
Yeah. Nah, but this is for me and you. Yeah, I'm trying to holler at you, but we didn't want to step on your toes, T, because we thought Sid was yours. And then there's the guys, and then there's the guys that's like, nah, I said we thought you was, we thought y'all had, but since y'all never, that's never gonna happen.
Yeah, shoot.
Yeah, can you give him my number?
I'm not doing that. But
give me the number.
I got a homeboy. Yeah, he asking about you. And listen, he a solid dude.
Where he live at?
I won't. He on the East Coast.
Oh. Mm-hmm. In New York?
No.
He's just on the East Coast.
He's on the East. Yeah, very good dude. Yeah,
how tall is he?
6 foot 6'1". Doctorate degree.
What he doing though?
Doctorate degree stuff.
Like doctorate degree stuff. He's single.
Doctorate degree stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. He got kids?
No.
Damn it.
You want him to have kids?
I don't want no more kids.
Oh, okay. Well, he don't have no kids, but every time I'm around you, you're a very respectful man. He be like, "Hey, man, she's very beautiful."
Hi.
Yeah. Listen, you've been watching another episode of my. Before we go, we do this podcast at this place or house. And it's amazing. It's black owned.
It's black owned.
And when we came and we met the people here, it was a black woman and a black man, and they were fiancés. You know what I mean? We're getting married, and over the time of doing the podcast, like I'll be in here shooting, and she's in there like planning a whole wedding.
Stressed out.
While we've been gone the past like 3 weeks, they got married.
Now
she is a wife. So I just she's off camera right now. But everybody in the comments, if y'all can say congratulations to Adrian, congratulations, Adrian. Congratulations, Adrian. Man, we appreciate you. Congratulations. Love from all of us over here, man. And thank you. All of us, like 2 feet from you.
Yeah.
But thank you. And listen, Dallas, Texas. September 28th. I need you to buy your tickets.
Dallas Comedy Club.
Buy your tickets at Dallas Comedy Club, September 28th. 2 shows, 7 to 9:30.
September.
I need y'all to buy them right now.
Do it now. Go get the tickets. Support him. I'm probably going to be in Dallas at some point in time, but I'm not going to be with Sid.
Thank you.
Jesus.
And listen.
There are other people in Texas.
Because I gave y'all so long, we're going to drop this episode, and I'm going to drop another episde this week, and I appreciate y'all support.
What's the other episode?
And I appreciate the patience. Man, I stripped this one time when I was like, really needed some money.
Oh my God, I did it before too.
I mean,
man,
less of a podcast and more real life conversations with Sydney Castillo. Look, time is of the essence. I found out the hard way. Started a podcast because I got a whole lot to say. Dealing with this anxiety got me moving different. Whole life I knew something was off. I knew I wasn't tripping. My pop's gone. Every day I swear I miss him. My brother gone too, and every day I miss him. Nowadays I got more questions than answers. My mom, my hero, I just watched her be cancer.